What if humans had gills? Not just little decorative slits, but full-on fish-style breathing flaps. Evolution would have gone in a very different direction. For starters, swimming lessons in school wouldn't be optional. They would be the most important subject. Math? Forget it. History? Irrelevant. But how long can you float while looking cool? That's your final exam. Dating culture would completely change too. Instead of flexing abs at the beach, people would casually flare their gills and say, "Check out the efficiency of my oxygen intake, babe." Entire beauty industries would emerge just for gill polish, gill extensions, and even glitter tattoos for that nightclub shimmer. And forget about cologne. Perfume companies would advertise new scents guaranteed to attract mates underwater. Sports would also flip upside down. Football would still exist, but underwater football would be the World Cup. Commentators would scream, "And he passes the ball. Well, technically it's a sponge, but wow, what a move." Gyms would have swimming lanes instead of treadmills, and bodybuilders would flex their gills between sets like, "Yeah, bro, these bad boys filter 30 liters a minute." Architecture would change drastically. Cities would be half underwater, half above. Office meetings would include awkward moments where someone says, "Sorry, I was late. There was a strong current on Main Street." Homes would need both sofas and seaweed hammocks. Even politics would split. Land humans and sea humans would argue endlessly. Who pays for water filtration? We live in it already. Governments would probably tax fresh water like it was liquid gold. And then there's food. Sushi restaurants would have an identity crisis. You'd walk in and see a sign, "Don't worry, we don't serve your cousin." Fast food chains would brag about algae burgers with extra plankton fries. Fashion would take a hit too. Scarves? Useless. Turtlenecks? Impossible. Instead, we'd have designer gill warmers and waterproof hats. Imagine winter catalogs. Stay cozy and breathable this season. Everyday life would be full of strange challenges. Talking underwater would still be a mess, so humanity would invent waterproof phones with bubble translation apps. Concerts would happen in giant aquariums, with singers producing opera while fish swim past the stage. Social media influencers would post glamorous photos of themselves doing hair flips underwater with captions like "current mood." On the flip side, air travel would be bizarre. People would sit in planes with little tanks of water to hydrate their gills during long flights. Flight attendants would say, "Please keep your water bowls upright until landing." And then we'd have evolution itself. With gills, our ancestors might never have left the oceans at all. Civilization could look like one giant coral reef city with skyscrapers that sway like kelp. Instead of pyramids, ancient humans might have built giant seashell monuments. The phrase "back to your roots" would literally mean back to the tide pool. Of course, humans being humans, we'd still find a way to fight about it. Some people would insist on living on land, others underwater, and a few rebels in bathtubs saying, "We're the bridge between worlds." But in the end, if humans had gills, evolution in society would be less about land versus sea and more about learning to live in both. And maybe, just maybe, the most popular pickup line in history would be, "Hey, want to grab some plankton smoothies and take a swim?"